perfectly.
Yeah.
And gave all the strengths you'd normally see in his build. I mean, they were just not there. In the upper left, in the red.
Liquid TaeJa.
In the bottom center, in the blue.
CJ Entus herO.
Right. I'm actually really excited to see what both players open with.
Welcome to the studio. Guys, come here any day.
Here.
People watching from their houses, you made a huge mistake. You could have been here in the studio, living the dream.
What a fool.
Aren't you? How embarrassing to be called out here over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, now I can never go down. I was
and
called
if you, when you guys come down to the studio, make a sign, and if we put it on camera, you will get 2 GSL coins.
That's right. That's
you can use those GSL coins to go into, put them in the raffle that we have after the show, or
you can try to cheat a gumball machine.
Yeah, you could try to cheat a gumball machine with that.
You can flip them like your Two-Face.
Yeah, there you go. That's something I hadn't even thought of, you know.
Yeah.
Now, this is a 3-player map, and we've seen already on the 2-player map, herO predicted TaeJa's build perfectly. It seems like there's a chance TaeJa will be doing the same thing again here. We'll have to see.
He's actually going CC first.
Oh, excuse me.
So
I'm like looking at you, I'm not looking at the screen.
Yeah. Not too late for that. Already 2 gases here. Barely mining from them, but 2 gases. Okay, slowly adding on. I would imagine he's going to be opening with an Oracle here, but we'll see. I think it's probably a Nexus into Oracle, if I had to guess. Which can be good against CC first, but if you don't do damage with an Oracle, like, because if you go for a really quick Nexus into Oracle, then that can be good against Command Center first, especially if you go Nexus first. But in this type of situation, where your Nexus is kind of normally timed or even just slightly later than normal, because you did get double gas, and your opponent has gone for the Nexus first, he's going to have so many units. Because already when you go Oracle, you're skimping on units, right? Because it's a harassment-based flying unit, doesn't have the beef to hold up to a strong frontal attack. So if he doesn't do any damage if he chooses to go Oracle, that is going to be an issue.
Yeah, when you rush for something like that, you really need to have that pay for itself in some way.
Yes.
You know, it's great that it has some utility later on in the game. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it.
Absolutely.
You basically, when you go for some kind of build, I mean, in this case, it's the Oracle, but I mean, let's say that you go for a quick medevac drop, for instance. You do need to do some amount of damage with that or something in order to balance the game out or ideally tilt the game into your favor.
Yeah. Well, he's actually just going straight into the Robo. We might even see Robo right into the Twilight again, which actually would be fine.
Yeah.
You know, he's not really going to get the damage on that he got on last game, because this is pretty much as different a build as you can get, right? He went, instead of expansion into 1 Reaper for scouting and Widowmine drops, he's gone Command Center first into 3 barracks. So if you're going for a big blink attack this time, he's going to have way more units. You're not going to be like nearly as successful. You're probably not even going to blink in one time. But he's actually just adding a couple gates, no Twilight.
All right, let's see where he takes this game then. There's a bunker being made over at the entrance. This is a map where you can blink in if you want to, but I totally agree with you. With what TaeJa's done, bad idea.
I wonder if this is going to be, you know, we've seen a lot of fake Immortal pushes and some real Immortal pushes with DT drops and stuff. It definitely could be something like that. That's a pretty good build for a map like this.
Somebody like herO, I would not be surprised to see him do that.
Yeah.
He's got some really good plays like that.
Well, I mean, he's not, I think he's going straight to Colossus with this. He has so little information about what TaeJa's actually up to as well. Oh, that's kind of cute. He's like, hey, I'm going to attack you.
Yeah.
Notice how TaeJa does not make a bunker right now.
Well, he probably thinks it's a fake, right? And it's, you know, it's hard to tell if it is a fake or not. The stalkers are coming out, but he can turn that around.
Yeah, he's just chilling on one. Well, the thing is, he knows he has so many units because of what he's chosen to open with that it's like, all right, attack me. I mean, I'm going to have way more than you expect. Because he's about to have a couple Marauders pop out.
Keep in mind, for the way the Protoss did the build, the Observer's only just now going to get in here and get a rough idea of what's going on. So this is, he cannot attack into that entrance at all.
So not afraid.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, this is more of a fake poke.
And now he's going to go for a War Prism here.
Well, I guess he wants to see if he can get damage done somehow. I don't know that he's going to get any done. TaeJa has definitely gotten the higher end of build orders here. Just like last game, herO got the higher end. Although last game I would say was more severely in herO's favor.
Yeah. Also, I think last game came down to one very bad engagement for TaeJa, and then one very good engagement later on there for herO as well. Okay, so the War Prism is going to come up here. Let's see how well this works. I would presume that TaeJa, ouch, that sucks.
I presume he's going to do nothing.
TaeJa should be equipped to handle this just fine,
yeah,
considering how he handled the Blink Stalkers in Game 1.
Yeah, well, especially since we just saw that happen, right?
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Fake Immortal.
Fake Immortal.
Let's go out. That Immortal was really weak. But yeah, look, Marine actually scouted the Warp Prism. That's amazing. Now we have herO going into Blink Colossus. He's adding a lot of gates. This is kind of like, I think he's going to go upgradeless for a long time. I don't know if he's going to get a Forge this game.
He's going to pull a Choya from the old GSL days,
Possibly.
powering up on 2 bases and almost getting maxed out. And just having so much stuff that if Terran tries to take a third, maybe he can smash that, smash the army, and push into the second.
herO is one of the big guys that really went to show that you don't actually need upgrades against Terran in every situation. Like Blink Stalker Colossus does fine for quite a while.
It's not a proper way to play the game, but it is something that
it can work.
It can work if you get them just off of their rhythm enough.
Yeah.
It's a way of playing that gives you a small number of windows to attack into. I think it's a hard concept for a lot of players to understand, but occasionally you can just do this sort of lopsided build where you have a lot, but you didn't give it, more armor or attack.
It's not quality, it's just a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little bit too much to deal with, and sometimes players will engage with that wrong, or they'll be hit at a window of time where maybe they're 1 upgrade ahead of you, but you have just way more, and it's right before their +2 attack or armor or whatever finishes, and you just go in there and you do the damage and win the game. It's not something you want to play with every time, but I think for this game, it's certainly not a bad route to take. And we actually are going to have what almost looks like a base race beginning here.
Yeah, it does, actually. The thing is, it's starting way quicker for herO, so that's nice, but Protoss can't do much against this unit count that's going into the natural heroes in a second.
Yeah, he's lifting. He's sending the SCVs back. He's got to be careful to keep these Colossi alive and keep them at the right angles. All the SCVs are being completely annihilated. The micro there, though, from TaeJa is just so good. TaeJa now retreats back up into the main, but down here, the Nexus is still alive. If he can save this Nexus,
oh man!
I wonder if he should have pulled maybe some probes back, a little bit back there, because it would have made such a big difference had he just managed to keep that alive.
I think you're right, but he was just really focusing on microing his army on the other side of the map, because I think it's more important he doesn't lose this army than he doesn't lose that Nexus.
We might have a force field here. There it is, blocking that off. He's going to get that one. Oh my God! Okay, he does get it because of the Vikings. I didn't see those for a second.
Yeah, that was a good kill on that Colossus.
Yeah, really nicely done. And I think TaeJa loses this. I think he's just barely not got enough.
You might be right. Blink Stalkers, I think, just finish this out, and GG.
GG. herO wins that.
Wow.
That was a nail biter right there, man.
Yeah, that was a much closer one right there. Good defense. That was very hard for both of them to do what they needed to do at both sides, because both of their armies were going to do a lot of damage to each other. herO was actually right, I would say, to let the Nexus die, because he had to basically kill TaeJa with the army he had.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to appreciate the fact that you have 2 parties microing on both fronts.
Yeah,
and it
really
was
tough.
More likely that TaeJa was microing hardcore at that Nexus, and that we had herO, microing harder at TaeJa's expansion where the command center was, and it's tricky to go back and forth with that. And
that's one of the hardest things all game to learn.
Exactly, it's one of the hardest things to deal with, and it comes down to priority.
Yeah,
and
I think he prioritized right by saying, I have to kill him with this push.
Well, also it was the size of the attack too. If you look at the the Colossi, the Stalkers, the Sentries breaking up into that area, the Protoss still had enough to warp in anywhere and try to engage that small drop, even if the Nexus is killed. Whereas for Protoss, once you get to where the Terran units are popping out of the barracks or the factory or the starport, they pretty much die. Terran units, when they get isolated, they have to be in a clump together.
Terran units
to
alone
work.
suck.
Yeah, they've always sucked alone. Brood War or StarCraft II, once you get to the point where you're killing them off one by one, that's the game.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a short little break. When we come back, we're going to go to our next match, Terminator against Curious. Stay tuned.